Thiago Silva is the oldest player to appear in the Premier League this season, aged 37 years and 11 months as the campaign began. But there are players across Europe that are playing into their 40s and even into their 50s. So what if we were to combine the talents of all these veterans and create a squad of players all over the age of 40? What level could they compete at in the English game? Could they go right to the very top? Or is it impossible for a team to be competitive without the energy of younger players? I guess there's only one way to find out. So let's introduce you to FC Veterans, a home for footballers all over the age of 40. We've got World Cup winners, greats of the global game, players with big league experience, and ones that are still winning trophies. What we lack is stamina and pace and acceleration. But how much will this hold us back? Can we still be successful relying on our players' technical ability? Well, to put our squad to the test, we placed them in England's League 2, where we were branded as overwhelming favourites for the title, with 9 of our players making it into the media Dream 11, including 44-year-old defender Cesar Caneda, sprightly left-back Lucas Licht, tricky Brazilian winger Nene, as well as creative schemer Christian Pellerano. Add to that the star quality of Ibrahimovic, timeless Spanish winger Joaquin, and lethal finisher Jose Sand, and Veterans fans had every right to be excited about the campaign ahead. To kick off the season, we welcomed Colchester to our Saga Arena, and it only took 9 minutes for the vintage to stamp their authority on the game. Further goals came from Zlatan, former Liverpool midfielder Maxi Rodriguez, and Venezuelan Richard Blanco, who saw the Veterans run out 4-1 victors. After 10 matches, our boys sat proudly at the top of the table. The team even led the scoring charts, and despite our lack of pace in defence, we'd only conceded 8 goals. However, third place Leyton Orient would prove to be stubborn competitors in the promotion race. With 20 games left of the season, we'd not been able to shake them, and they were just 1 point behind us in the table, despite us beating them 2-0 at the Saga Arena. Then we went on to drop points against Barrow and Walsall, which allowed Leyton Orient to seize the initiative with 32 games played. And going into the final weekend of the season, both teams were locked on 91 points, and Orient topped the table by virtue of their superior goal difference. But there was hope. Whilst we faced bottom of the table Tranmere in our final game, Orient had to travel to third place Bradford. Surely it was us that had the easier task. Well, I was rethinking that statement after 5 minutes when Tranmere took the lead. Fortunately, we had Jose Sand, who managed to rattle in his 23rd and his 24th goals of the season to put us 2-1 up. With Leyton Orient drawing with Bradford, victory would be enough to win the title. But Tranmere hadn't read the script. They scored a late equaliser against us, leaving fans frantically refreshing their phones and listening to transistor radios trying to find out the latest scores from the Leyton Orient game. Would a point be enough to win the title? As it turns out, it was. 2 late goals from Bradford left us on 92 points whilst Orient remained on 91. And the veteran skipper Zlatan Ibrahimovic lifted the League 2 trophy. Zlatan led the scoring charts ahead of Jose Sand. But the player of the season was Joaquin, who notched 20 assists and had an average rating of 7.4. But could our squad make it at a higher level? Maybe even the highest level? Well, we decided to put them to the ultimate test by placing them in the Premier League. This time, our boys were rank outsiders. But for the opening game of the season, we took on a Nottingham Forest side who were also tipped to struggle. And despite the fact that it was us that was under pressure for significant periods of the game, in the 54th minute, Jose Sand latched onto a through ball from Lucas Licht and slotted past Keylor Navas. Now this 1-0 win could have been beginner's luck, and our next fixture against Leicester promised to be another challenging game, especially when Harvey Barnes put the Foxes ahead after just 4 minutes. but Zlatan teed up Jose San to equalise after 9 minutes, before the duo combined once more to give us our second successive victory. A 1-1 draw with 2 sendings off against Brighton left us dreaming of European football. Could we sustain this incredible start to the season? In a word, no. In fact, we had no idea how tough things were about to get. In our next match, Liverpool hit us for 7, then Arsenal struck 3 times against us. And then we travelled to Newcastle, where we managed to concede 7 goals in the opening 25 minutes and lost the game 11-0 without even having a shot on goal. In truth, our morale never recovered and more defeats followed. We hosted Wolverhampton Wanderers, who beat us 4-0, and fellow Midlanders Aston Villa beat us 5-0. Man United managed to score 6 against us, and so did Londoners Brentford. And after 20 games, we were at the foot of the table with just 7 points. And things were about to get much worse as we welcomed Manchester City to the Saga Arena. We at least managed a shot during the 90 minutes. But Haaland scored 6 times in a 10-0 victory for Manchester City. The chants of "sacked in the morning" echoed throughout the stadium, and they were right as the axe followed a week later. The veterans would go on to win just 1 more game that season, and amazingly it was against Liverpool, as the veterans managed to pull off a historic 1-0 win. But the story doesn't have to end there. We might have only managed to achieve 7 points before we were sacked. But could you do better? Well, you'll find game files with the veteran squad added to League 2 and the Premier League in the Manager's Seat Discord ready for you to download. Are your managerial skills sharp enough to guide a team of veterans to Premier League survival? The quest is on.